first question on the current market scenario is, with Hanjin declaring bankruptcy and last week Flinter Shipping following suit, is it potentially a new wave of bankruptcies that we are staring at? And to answer this question, I will start with Denis to give us his perspective, and Arne can follow up with his perspective. Denis?
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. To answer this question, of course, you know, I would be in a bit of a different place if I could project what's going to happen to all the shipping industry and in particular the breakbulk. But my opinion on this one is that I wouldn't really associate what happened to these two companies that they've one declared bankruptcy and something happening to another one to the breakbulk sector. I kind of think that we should really distinguish these two. I mean, we are in different market models. We are in different segments. I think we should not really connect them to. Breakbulk has been traditionally a bit more stable, a bit more, let's say, solid, because I would imagine it's a difficult segment to enter. It's not the easy entrance segment. Of course, we are having not a best timings in the breakbulk segment, but I mean, I think because of the knowledge and the technology in this segment, we have a bit of a leverage to be better. Because I mean, judging on 2008-2009 crisis, the containers, they fell out easy straight after the banks and everything collapsed, and we kept on going we had a momentum for a couple of years and whatever. So I think those two issues should not be really connected. I think you better judge as to the health of the particular project companies, how someone does and what models of the players that are involved in the project in the breakbulk carriage. But that's a bit of a maybe different thing. I think it's not really the easy discussion. It could be deeper, but I'm sure that we can talk about this.
So I'm sure there's no easy answer for the question on whether we are seeing a potential new wave of bankruptcies. Arne, do you agree with Denis, or do you have a different take on this?
I would basically agree with what Denis was saying, but to answer the question, I think there will be a few more consolidations coming up. Bankruptcy, I wouldn't know, but there will be a few more consolidations in the future, because this is how a lot of companies can remain in the market and waiting for the wave to come and pick it up again and be there when the cargo is there. So,
right. To kind of follow up on that question, now a lot of vessels have been built with certain economics going behind it, where for the owners to stay in business, they had to have returns at a particular level to come back from the daily charter rates. Now, since the vessel owners are now losing money on a daily basis, how long do you think the vessel owners can sustain pumping money into the industry and into keeping themselves alive and sustaining themselves in the business? Denis, your take on this?
Well, again, it's back to this you never know what's going to happen situation. It's not a crystal ball. I think it's also it depends on a lot of products that the banks offer to the industry and then other way around. I mean, I'm sure European company would be differently positioned towards the financing than say Chinese company or Japanese company. So it's really hard to say. But I think it's what I could agree on, and a bit of a basic here, that we all have lost the touch in a sense with the just refinancing, financing a lot, buying. We are oversupplied with the tonnage. That's one thing, and I don't know what banks think about it, but I kind of think that they must feel that something has been wrong. Sure. I'm sure that they would be trying to rethink and stop this and so on. Another angle of it is that one thing is an owner perspective, another thing is operator perspective. Sort of banks stopping financing more ships actually helps all of us, because we will eventually have less ships in the market, which is why not? Then I think maybe it's not a bad news that banks would stop.
Arne, you are probably a little bit more insulated from these issues because you take vessels on commercial management. But then, since you interact very regularly with owners who are willing to consider new formats like the ones you're currently having in the market, what's your perspective from, let's say, from what you see from the owners? Are they trying to continue breathing for a little bit more time? Do they have a plan in place? Are they going to pull the plug at some point of time?
I think eventually it's mainly driven by the banks, you know. The banks, as Denis said, obviously see that something is going wrong these days. So they urge the owners to look into different options. And one option is a commercial management, another option is a time charter. There are pools, which BBC is in. So it's a lot depending on the banks. And they put the pressure on the owners to, you know, find solutions, find ways so they can back up the loans for them. And commercial management is one amongst it. It's not the only one, but as an owner, it's probably good to diversify your fleet, put vessels in the commercial management, time charter, in the pool. That's, from my perspective, the best thing an owner can do. But eventually, it also has to fit your business module.
True.